Hey guys, Tony here. Hope you're doing well. It is Thursday, January 10th. Have some news to share with you guys. Not too many items. It's kind of a slow news day, but I did want to start with the crypto market. And before I go further, this is not financial or investment advice. Hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Now, today we saw a dump. Very interesting, and this looks like a whale dumping, guys. The way it just dumped, not even a technical analysis, people saw this coming. And like I said before, you know, I believe in technical analysis, but in a stable market. In an infancy market as crypto, unless you're day trading, that's different. You with manipulation and you know the high volatility in this very young market, technical analysis will only go so far because no one could have predicted stuff like this, right? That certainly looks like a whale dumped off. You know, because of that dump, it looks like XRP surpassed Ethereum for the #2 spot again. We talked about they will be fluctuating until XRP starts moving that significant volume with cross-border payments via XRapid. But why the dump? You know, I can only make an educated guess based on some of the things that have been happening lately. One being the Ethereum Classic collapse, where it was the 51% attack, where you know, Ethereum Classic was already going through some issues, and then now it's being attacked, and they have the double spend issue, so showing the proof of work flaw. So I don't know how you know, proof of work will do in the future. There's definitely some upgrades and fixtures that need to be done there, but who knows if they're able to. And we see that Ethereum itself is moving away from proof of work to proof of stake. That is a sign. Now you may say, well, how will Bitcoin survive? Well, Bitcoin has a lot of other things going for it, being the original, has the brand, and also its utility is it sucks, let's be honest, right? But it is being used as a store of value, as digital gold. So it's not really going to be moved in, you know, where I think eventually there's not going to be a lot of people transacting. Now, I could be wrong. With the Lightning Network coming, you know, that could make it, you know, crypto that's used. But until then, people are just going to be holding on to it, right? Because for speculation and as store of value. So we're seeing this dump here. I don't know how far more it will go. You know, some people were saying that, you know, the market was that we were still in a bear market, even though we had a run up, and that Bitcoin would go down to 2,500. So they could be right, or this could just be, as you know, the drop here, and then we move sideways and go back up. Who knows? At this point, I'm not trying to do any technical analysis. Rather, I'm looking at what the big money is doing. That's what I tried to share with you guys, the moves, because the prices will say something. It'll be a roller coaster ride, right? This is how the young market's going to operate. But the prices say one thing, but what the big money is doing, what the governments are doing, is a completely different story, right? It is showing the build out of a new asset class of crypto, the infrastructure being built out, and we're seeing moves by corporations and big money, and they've been doing a lot within the past year of this bear market. As weak hands left the market, blood on the streets, they have been setting up shop and building their services out. And so why do I think of the sell-off? Once again, the Ethereum Classic, but also Bitmain. And now there's some news here from Bitmain that they will appoint a new CEO, as the co-founders and co-CEOs are going to be stepping aside. So we know Bitmain's been having issues. They had to lay off people. It goes back to proof of work flaw, where you know, the price, they can't, with the market going down, the price is going down, they can't maintain profitability. So they're going to have a new CEO. They were actually planning to do an IPO in a Hong Kong stock exchange, but they're getting blocked now because of all their issues. You know, if you're laying off people and you're trying to do an IPO, you know, that's not going to work. So it looks like they're restructuring. Let's see what they do. But, you know, this is not good for the whole proof of work setup and system, guys. So let's see what happens here. Also, you know, as I've stated, with manipulation, a whale could have dumped because that whale had insider information of news that may be coming within the next few weeks, right? Like, for example, maybe Bakkt got delayed again, right? And that whale may know the insider information, and that person's going to dump. And the reason being, why would they dump, right? Why not hodl? Well, these folks, a lot of them buy over the counter. So what they could do, if they bought over the counter at, you know, cheaper than the market rate, and it's not recorded on the exchanges, as we know, it's a direct buy, they could dump it on the market, drive the prices lower, and go in and buy even more at lower prices because they know what's coming. They know the market's going to go down anyway. So dump, let the FUD or the new bad news come out, and let the prices go even lower. Go in and buy a ton more than they had at, you know, obviously very low prices. So on that note, Genesis Trading released information saying their OTC trade volume is up 50% year over year. In a crazy bear market where prices are down, their OTC trades are up 50%. What did we talk about last week? Circle, you know, backed by Goldman Sachs, which purchased Poloniex, the exchange, last year. What did they say? We traded $24 billion in trades last year. See what's happening? I believe Cumberland also released information. So the writing's on the wall here. The smart money, the big money, they're doing what they've done before, guys. There's a narrative out there. There's manipulation in the market, and they are accumulating, going directly to these folks, going directly to these OTC firms and buying. So despite the ongoing 2018 crypto bear market, Genesis Trading, a digital currency over-the-counter OTC firm, has experienced tremendous growth. Really? I wish that was recorded on the exchanges, but it's not. Remember, OTC is direct. That's me going to you and buying crypto directly to you, from you, not from an exchange. So it's not recorded on the exchange. It's on the blockchain, but it's not on the exchange. According to a recent email sent out to Genesis clients in 2018, the firm saw a 50% year-over-year increase in OTC trading volumes and originated nearly $1 billion in loans and borrows since it launched its lending business, Genesis Capital. They also, it says here, Genesis also notes that it has received a BIT license approval from New York State. See, guys, infrastructure being built out. These guys are setting up their shop, setting up their services. They don't care about what the price is now because they're looking long term. They know they're going to buy in low over the counter, set up their services. And as I said, institutions will lead the next bull run, and they're going to do mass marketing. We saw even what do you call it? What are these guys? Gemini, the Winklevoss twins, doing mass marketing in New York. But bigger things are coming when you have Fidelity and Bakkt and all these TD Ameritrade involved. They're going to be doing TV, radio, billboards, and so forth. So it's coming. We got to be patient. There is some holdup on the regulations as well from the SEC, CFTC. But the writing's on the wall, and look what's happening. These firms are saying here, this is what's happening. We're seeing growth, OTC. And who buys OTC? The big money, right? We're talking about millionaires, billionaires, and so forth. So speaking of big money setting up shop in the bear market, Bitwise files with the US SEC for a physically held Bitcoin ETF. So everyone's looking now to do kind of their physically backed, because I think they realize they need to do this to get increase their chances of getting approval, right? Rather than being paper backed, it's going to be physically backed, and that's the concept behind Bakkt itself, right? Powered by Starbucks, the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, ICE. I can't speak today. And then I reported to you guys CoinFlex, which is going to compete with Bakkt and ErisX, also going to be launching its own physically backed futures and all that. So cryptocurrency index fund provider Bitwise Asset Management has applied with the US SEC to launch a new Bitcoin exchange traded fund ETF, according to a registration form published January 10th. So look at that, dump on the market, and they're applying for ETF? Yeah, because guys, you can't have tunnel vision. You can't have short-term view here. You got to look long-term, the bigger picture of what's to come. According to the form, Bitwise's proposed ETF will track the Bitwise Bitcoin Total Return Index, the value of which is calculated based on prices of Bitcoin that the index provider derives from Bitcoin price transactions occurring on cryptocurrency exchanges. According to a press release accompanying the newly filed form, the firm's proposed Bitcoin ETF reportedly differs from other previous Bitcoin ETFs in that it draws prices from a variety of crypto exchanges with the aim of better representing the market. So we know the CBOE, SolidX, VanEck, those folks have Bitcoin ETFs. Even the Winklevoss twins had their Bitcoin ETF rejected. Expect them to probably come with a physically backed Bitcoin ETF now. So watch as everyone's like, yeah, physically backed. So does that make sense? Acquire and fill the bags over the counter, then go apply for these different things saying, hey, we have the actual crypto. It will be physically backed. This is not some paper trail game here. So this is what's happening. They're looking to bring crypto into the fray, guys, of stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds and all that good stuff. In the firms, actually, let me back up. Bitwise's Bitcoin ETF reportedly differs from other applications in that it would require regulated third-party custodians to hold its physical Bitcoin. In the firm's press release, John Hyland, global head of ETFs at Bitwise, declared having a regulated bank or trust company hold physical assets of a fund has been the standard under the U.S. fund regulation for the last 80 years. So what did I just say, right? Everyone's going to be doing the physical because it improves their chances of being being approved, right? That it's not just the paper game here. Eventually, they'll probably go to that, but hey, we need to get approved. We have the assets. We have 1,000 Bitcoin, and this is what we want to do. That's what's going to happen, guys. So, big things are ahead, and the SEC is dragging its feet. So let's see if they approve anything soon. That'd be great. The deadline's February 27th. However, we know the U.S. has a government shutdown. That may push everything back. It may push everything back. So let's move ahead to some Ripple XRP news. So you guys may have seen my upload from earlier today. I interviewed the CEO of Bitrue, where he talks about the exchange as well as XRP being listed as a base currency. And currently they have like around 13 pairs. He said new pairs are coming soon within the next week, as well as their goal is to get 30 pairs with XRP as a base currency. It's a big move by Bitrue. Also, he talks about the plan for fiat pairing and that will lead to the Ripple X Rapid exchange partner setup, right? So that's their goal, to become a Ripple X Rapid exchange partner. So definitely watch that video if you haven't already. Here it is from earlier today. Some very insightful things and big things are happening around XRP and Ripple. And, you have the Bitcoin maximalists going crazy. Man, I saw when Ripple released the news about, the XRapid partners, the new ones, and then over 200 customers, Bitcoin maximalists were trolling nonstop. They were getting, you could tell, man, they are very worried. Now, I hold Bitcoin, I hold Ethereum, but I don't have any religious affiliation to any crypto, right? I look at the facts, I look at what can make money, I look at what makes sense from a business aspect. This is where we're headed. You can't say that you want to take down banks and governments, yet you still want institutional money to come in. Who's the institutional money? Banks. So the logic is flawed. If these people's logic is flawed, the self-awareness is not there. Like, I understand that some of them are upset about banks and so forth. But I've talked a bit about this. The problem is not banks. The bank was created to help people to get financing and create liquidity, right? You can buy a house and buy a car. From where it went from there to where it is now is because of corruption. It's because of politicians being bought, right? A bank representative can say, hey, we'll give you a campaign donation if you pass this bill that allows us to do this, to do mortgage swaps, to bet on the market, to do this, right? Things that would put the market at risk, the economy at risk. So it's not the bank. Anybody could come and say, give me this, right? But you don't have to give it to them. The government and these politicians could say, no, we won't put the economy at risk. And that would be the end of it because they can't do it, right? The law would put them in check. But due to being able to buy politicians, that's the underlying problem. Because then the politicians don't answer to you anymore, or they let things go that put you at risk as a taxpayer, but not, and the banks make a lot of money. But so you can't have both. Say I want the big money so the prices can go up, and say I hate banks and governments and down with the banks and government. Which one do you want, right? Come on. And a lot of these folks are not true believers. Like I said, if they were true believers, they would be doing, they would put together a Project Mayhem plan, like from Fight Club. Those of you who've seen Fight Club know what I'm talking about. Anyway, moving ahead. So definitely check out that interview here. Anyway, we got some news here. Shout out to this user, T-Hole Benedict of XRP chat. But this person uncovered something here, that the Indian government's information and Research Security and Development Center is running an XRP validator node. So they're one of the validators, one of the many validators spread around the world that essentially makes the XRP ledger decentralized. And we see that Ripple controls less than 50% of the nodes, which is great. And this is Ripple's plan, and you notice they've been working with a lot of universities and a lot of different companies in different countries. That's their plan, to get these folks to become validators. So shout out to this person, and shout out to Leonidas, who responded saying the Center of Excellence of Blockchain Technologies at IIT Bombay is established in collaboration with Ripple, and it's part of the University Blockchain Research Initiative. So like I said, Ripple's working with a lot of these universities, and they're setting up validators, and they've been transparent of what they're doing. Like, hey, we don't control, we can't stop a transaction from going through, because they don't control the, the full, the whole ledger or whatever it is. It's decentralized. Now, obviously, they own a majority of the XRP tokens, but like I said, they can't stop transactions from the XRP that's already out there, right? And they also have their escrow set up so it wouldn't flood the market. And they are also a very transparent company. So it's not like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not against Bitcoin, but an example would be, who's Satoshi Nakamoto? Because Satoshi Nakamoto has 900,000 or near 1 million Bitcoin, right? Who is that? What if that person decides to cash out or dump on the market? Right? I'm bringing facts and logic here, guys. And the great thing about it, we know who the CEO of Ripple is. We know all the people that work there. They're very transparent. They're on Twitter. They're doing interviews. So if they were to do something that affects the XRP holders, they would easily be called out. And of course, they could be legally in trouble and things, depending on what they do. So that's why, even the people who Bitcoin maximalists, a lot of them are hypocrites, man. They don't bring the facts. They just bring, name calling. Ripple shitcoin. Great. Show me something of substance. They say banker coin or insider coin. And then you have like idiots like Craig Wright, who own a significant amount of Bitcoin. And like I said, who is Satoshi? And that he or she or group has a significant amount of Bitcoin. So it goes back to facts and logic here, right? Not emotions, not feelings, and whatever. And like I said, I believe governments need to regulate banks. Don't get me wrong, right? When I say I'm not on the extreme side of anything. I'm in the middle of the road, the common sense part of it. Like, yes, we need to regulate banks, make sure they're not affecting the economy, crashing economy, and whatever, right? But am I on the side that they need to destroy banks and bring them down? No. Because, like I said before, banks inherently were not evil or trying to destroy you or something. There was a purpose for them being created. But due to legal bribery of politicians, that's how they got to where they are. And that's what's going on here in the U.S. Let's be honest, right? If you take a look at it, politicians don't raise money from the people. They raise it from corporations, and corporations buy them off to pass laws and do things in their favor. Finally, New York is, man, they are doing some big things. You remember they launched the crypto digital currency group or whatever it is, the research group. So now they are, it says here, New York Economic Dev nonprofit NYCEDC opens blockchain center. So they're building a blockchain center. I'm actually going to try to go check this place out. They're going to offer like classes and a lot of informational, educational classes and things like that. So I want to learn how to build a blockchain, man. So I'm going to check it out. But it goes back to what I'm talking about, guys, that, a lot of these, even states, governments, people are recognizing the future of crypto and blockchain, and New York is making a big move. So this is pretty significant, and they got funding. The city gave them $100,000 so to get this going. So this is big. It's part of the Global Blockchain Business Council and affiliates of New York, and looks like it's going to be in the Flatiron District of Manhattan. So those of you who live in New York or even in the New Jersey area, you could check this out. I'm definitely going to try to check it out, or, you know, try to maybe interview some folks, do a video of the setup there, and let you guys know. But I love seeing stuff like this. It shows, once again, infrastructure being built out for the future of this market. So guys, what do you think about this news? Like I said, not too many items, but some important. Obviously, it looks like here, like from an hourly perspective, things are showing green. Obviously, from a 24-hour, they're down. But like I said, this could have been not really a, you know, a dump, obviously, but it's not a huge dump where we're keep going down. I don't know. It could keep going down, honestly. But let's see what happens. But guys, I hope you see the bigger picture here and continue to hold. This is obviously not financial or investment advice. Thumbs up if you like this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Definitely check out the interview, like I said, from earlier today. And, you know, share my channel and video with your friends and family. And let's get the facts out there. And thank you for your support. And I'll talk to you all later.